Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel for another interesting beer review and another Kölsch. It was a while ago while I was reviewing a Kölsch, and I reviewed one Kölsch beer before on the channel. It was the Früh Kölsch. Now I am having the Sion Kölsch from Cologne, of course, because all Kölsch beers are coming from Cologne. There are not allowed to be brewed anywhere else. There are some other Kölsch beers that will be interesting for me to review in the future. For example, Sester, Gilden, Reisdorfer, Gaffel, Kuppers, and Sunner. We have a few, there are quite many different Kölsch breweries, but those are the ones that I'm looking for, but I haven't got yet, but will be interesting to find them. Anyway, this is called Sion, or Sion probably in German is more correct pronunciation. It looks like this, and the back label is looking like this. Show you the cap too, as I used to do, right there. And it's got 4.8 ABV, and I'm gonna, just as I did when I reviewed the Früh Kölsch, read a little bit about the beer style, because it's quite an beer style that maybe not all of you know everything about, but it's a pale beer from Cologne and is very similar to pale lagers in color and taste. But unlike lagers, fermentation takes place in warm temperature instead of cold. The beer is protected by origin, and the name can only be used on beer brewed in Cologne and by brewers who are members of the Cologne Brewers Association. The beer is pale yellow to the color with light and mild taste. The hops bitterness is moderate. The carbonic acid is high, and the taste has character of malt and high without sweetness. There may also have be some fruity aromas coming from the fermentation. The difference between a Kölsch and the other German traditional beer style Alt is big. Alt beer is more reminiscent of British ale and is even darker in color than Kölsch. That's something you might remember from the review of the Früh Kölsch, if you've seen that one. Otherwise you can check it out too. Could be interesting to compare those two Kölsch beers. Regarding information about this specific Sion Kölsch, it's possible to read on a website. I found in Cologne there's a saying that so fully enjoy a Sion Kölsch you must first taste it in Cologne with a view of its majestic cathedral, the Kölner Dome, and this is precisely where the heart of Sion beats. The people of Cologne are as proud of their stunning city as they are protective of their beer. It was Hans Sion who established the Kölsch Convention, the decree that states that if a beer is to be called Kölsch, it must be brewed within sight of the Kölner Dome. A vibrant culture center, Cologne is home to a large number of beers and breweries. Each Kölsch variety has its own brewery and its own individual taste. Sion Kölsch is top fermented like an ale, cold conditioned like a lager, and the tastiest reason to visit Cologne. A quick guide for insiders: to get the authentic Kölsch experience, stop by a traditional brauhaus in the heart of Cologne. Inside, the Kürbis is in charge of keeping every patron supplied with Kölsch. But be advised, the Kürbis will continue to bring you the stage after stage of delicious Kölsch. The stage, of course, is the typical Kölsch glass, and the Kürbis will continue to bring a new one until you put your beer coaster on top of the glass. And when you do, chances are someone will protest saying, "Trink doch eine mit. Why don't you have another one?" Brewmaster Frank Nolte is entrusted with brewing this distinct pale ale. It is his passion to brew Sion Kölsch, the pride of Cologne. Even though original not from Cologne, he feels right at home. Light and crisp with a slight herbal bitterness and a sweet grainy pale malt with hints of citrus and freshly cut grass, this spritzy Kölsch has a dry, refreshing finish. Translucent bright yellow with a one-finger head. Origin Cologne, Nordrhein-Westfalen. Kölsch, type of ale beer, smooth, slightly hoppy, bright yellow. And I'm gonna read some about the Sion Kölsch Brauhaus. And the Sion Brewery is a historic former brewery and today's restaurant in Cologne's Old Town. The brewery continues the tradition of the pub in the same place, first mentioned in the 1318 under the address Unter Tachenmacher zu Köln. In 1318, the building was located on the site of today's Sion Brewery, Unter Taschenmacher No. 5, owned by the brewer Johannes Braxator. A corresponding entry in the shrine book of St. Lawrence from this period reads, Domus Cusini Q Mobo Medebrürs Dig, which seems to be Latin. Translated the house to the cuisines, which is called Medebrürs. The so-called Medebier was brewed here, which was mixed with herbs and honey. Since the brewing law in Cologne at the time was always tied in the house, it can be assumed that the beer was brewed in the building in as early as 14th century. The trademark Sion today refers to this house tradition since 1318. The brewing register of the city Cologne identifies the house Unter Taschenmacher No. 5 for 1835 as the home brewery of brewer Christian Peter Herberts, who brewed beer on this site until 1852. Adam Jusken followed him until 1879, and his son Joseph continued the brewing tradition until 1885. The brewer Louis Kivernagel then ran the home brewery and the tap room until 1895. After Anton Fetten had headed the brewery until 1901, the Jusken family with Jean Jusken returned to the former family-owned business until 1904. At that time, Jusken renamed his home brewery to Dombrauerei and the brewery Dombräues. Subsequently, Joseph Schwartz, the owner of the brewery at that time, Malzmühle, took over the house until 1912. Jean Sion, who came from a family of brewers in the Eifel region, took over the house brewery until his death 1915. His community of heirs followed as owner until 1928. Georg Riesch, the husband of the widow of the brewer Jean Sion, continued the business until 1936. This year, Hans Sion took over the brewery and the brewery located at the building. The brewery could no longer be called Dombräues at the end of 1930s because the Hirsch family from Bayernthal, at that time the brand Dom Pils, had successfully sued against the name. The house brewery was largely destroyed by a bomb hit on March 31, 1942, and was no longer usable during the Second World War. The building was completely destroyed at the end of the war. Hans Sion had the house rebuilt afterwards and traded under current name Brauhaus Sion. The brewing operation of this former house brewery was not resumed in the building. The beer of the traditional brand was produced and the contract brew other Cologne breweries since 1993 alongside other brands in the Bergische Löwenbrauerei in Cologne-Mülheim of the Cologne Association. Since the death of Hans Sion in 1998, his son Hans-Georg Sion has managed the brewery and the original parent company of his Sion Kölsch brewery. The Sion brewery today comprises the building complex Unter Tachenmacher No. 3 to 11 and offers seating for around 600 guests. The Sion brewery on Cologne's Altermarkt is also one of the historical stations of the Cologne Brewery hiking trail, which was initiated in 1997 by brewer Hans Sion together with the writer Franz Matter and Hans Sion Foundation. That's some interesting history about this beer and the brewery and Hans Sion who created it. Quite classical looking label too, not very fancy. You see the Kölner Dome right here. I guess you know how the Kölner Dome looks like, otherwise I suggest that you Google pictures of it. Altstadtbräu Johann Sion im Herzen Kölsch. Zutaten: Wasser, Gerstenmalz, Weißenmalz, Hopfenextrakt, Hopfen. Frisch vom Fass im Brauhaus Sion. René Sion im Herzen Kölsch. Altstadtbräu Johann Sion GmbH, Bergisch Gladbacher Straße, Köln. Yeah, that's what it says here on the label. And yeah, time to go over to the tasting parts, and let's open this one up and pour it up. There we have the Sion Kölsch, which is looking quite pale yellow, easy to see through, just like a Pils actually, I would say, even though the brewing process is different. So it's not a lager, but it definitely looks like a pale lager regarding the color. At least that's my opinion. I thought that the foam head was gonna get as big as a Pils, for example, that I'm used to pour, but it didn't. It got seems like it doesn't grew as big as for example a Pils, and I think that doesn't have to do with the pouring. I think it's just because of the brewing, the way it's been brewed. Aroma wise, it's almost like pale lager. The hops bitterness is not as high as Pils, of course, but really fresh. And of course, this is Kölsch beers is the beers that is enjoyed in Cologne. I doubt that they drink many other beer styles in the town. It's mainly they support their local beer style. Not that easy to compare it to the Frühkölsch that I reviewed earlier at this point, but let's taste it. Prost! That's nice, of course. Easy to feel the high quality. Hops taste appears quite early. Nice balance. Maltiness is something that's easy to taste also, I would say. This is a really nice Kölsch, in my opinion, actually. It seems like it's the one of the bigger Kölsch. It was the one that I could find in when I did visit Getränkemarkt Hoffmann in Berlin together with Frühkölsch, of course. easy to enjoy, nice balance, and it's something that I definitely could recommend if you're interested in trying different German beer styles. And Kölsch is a beer style that I suggest you try. This is a good choice to try. Even though it maybe doesn't look very interesting regarding its label. It's traditional, and it's the one that started the beer style, so it's of course a real classic in that sense. Yeah, easy to enjoy, definitely very nice, and yeah, easy to drink, nice balance. So it has definitely everything, I would say, from a, just like comparing it to a pale lager, it tastes, there are some things that taste the same, but it's special, but it's real nice, easy to drink, as I said, nice balance and high quality, so a big recommendation for me, actually. Yeah, that's it. That's the Sion Kölsch, or Sion Kölsch. Recommendation for me to try it. And as I said in the beginning, I'm gonna try to find more Kölsch beers to review, because it's an interesting beer style, I think. It's the same with Altbiers. I'm gonna try to find more Altbiers also as well. I've only reviewed Diebels this far, which is the biggest Altbier. There will be some other interesting beers that will be coming up, like Kellerbier and Schwarzbier, Weissenbock, Doppelbock, yeah, all those kind of different beer style, Märzen, for example. So I hope you continue to follow my channel for more interesting beer reviews, and I see you again in the next video.